What's up guys, welcome to another video. So in today's video, I'm going to explain to you guys how you could have caught this break and retest of a resistance level buy opportunity on the S&P 500 this week. Okay, so let's start off with the analysis of this trade. As you can see here on the M15 time frame, we had this resistance right here. It was sort of a supply as well, but you saw multiple highs trying to break through this level and it just didn't happen. And then finally at market open, after a little while, when we were like 45 minutes into the market, it finally broke and then retested and then had a nice rally to the upside. Okay, now this was one of these scenarios that I was looking at. Another scenario obviously was just a sweep basically of these resistance highs and then a move to the downside. But then I didn't really like the price action and also the order flow around this. As you can see right here, we had a rejection right here, a sweep above these highs, and then quite some move to the downside, but my bias was more to the bullish side. So once it broke obviously here, not very strong, and immediate drop to the downside without showing much intention of buyers. And then finally we came back above this level, came and retested this resistance level, and then had a reaction to the upside again. So then I was just waiting for a pullback into this range, as we will watch now the live replay on the Bookmap for areas to get long. Okay, so let's go to the Bookmap and actually see what happened. So here we have this breakout of the resistance level, and then we have the retrace. Okay, now all we need to look for, I'm gonna have it in a little bit of speed. Now we need to see an area of consolidation with a lot of heavy buying stepping in, and then a move to the upside. Okay, and that could be the range that we're then looking at for price to retrace into. As you can see, price is just going down, retracing into this resistance level and retesting it. Here we see some heavy buying stepping in, as you can see. Still some heavy selling as well. Let's see if it's going anywhere. And it's not really going anywhere, as you can see. So here we see heavy selling and it's not going anywhere. We see a lot of aggressive buying as well. So this could be a potential range if price goes a little bit further to the upside and makes this break of structure. There we go. This could be a potential range that we could look at right here and then wait for price to return into. Okay, so price is just moving nicely to the upside. Now all we need to do is just wait for price to return. As you can see, again, let's just pause this. We see a lot of aggressive selling, then we see this double bottom with aggressive selling as well, but price is not really going anywhere, and we see aggressive buying is starting to step in. Aggressive buying stepped in here with a lot of contract size, 247 contracts, the next one 316, and price was actually pushing in that direction. So this means that buyers are present around this price range. So this is why I drew this box right here. And all you need to do now is just wait for price to return into this level and then again see a potential double bottom or a higher low with weaker selling and aggressive buying stepping in. So you can see price is still consolidating, staying in the same area. Now when I was in this moment live, I'm waiting for price to return to this range, so I don't really have anything else to do. So what I do now, while I'm waiting for price to return to my range, is I look to the upside and I look at potential targets. And I had a potential target in mind, which was the 6700s, which was a good area, I think, for me to get fully out of the market. And obviously these other offers are good partial take profits, basically. So price is returning slowly into our range. It's getting very close by. Let's speed it up a little bit more and see when price returns into our range. As you can see right here, you can see the aggressive buying stepping in, then a nice push to the upside, also a nice consolidation range, which is, just a beautiful range to be trading from off the Bookmap. Price is just consolidating, not really going anywhere. We see aggressive buying at the top, aggressive selling at the bottom. Price is not doing anything. Price again is getting close to our range. Finally, some heavy selling. We're getting very close to our range. There we go. So let me just slow it down now. So now we see price finally returning into our range. We have this bid as well popping up here, which could work as a sort of a floor, trying to protect the buyers. And here we have already a small double bottom or a higher low. So pretty much, we'll pause this for a second. So here you can see already that we have a lot of weaker selling. You see how the bubbles are just getting a lot smaller on the selling side. And obviously this order right here, which was a very big seller, 827 contracts, which makes the bubbles look a lot smaller. Okay, so sometimes you just have to move this and you will see the bubbles become the actual normal size. Okay, but still you could see that selling is weakening in this range right here, and you can already see that we had, you know, a move to the downside, couldn't go further, another move to the downside, couldn't go further, another move to the downside, couldn't go further. So any basically signal of aggressive buyers, I'd be willing to step in the market around this at 77, 78. Obviously, I'd prefer if price would come further down lower, so then I could have a little bit of a smaller stop loss size and have a better risk to reward. But not all scenarios are like that. So if I were to be entering around here at the 77s or 78s in this area, then I would like to have my stop loss, at least like 6 points, more or less, give it a little bit of room, maybe even 7. It doesn't really have to be under this low, but give it a little bit of room, maybe between 5 and 7 points is pretty decent to give it a little bit of breathing room in case price wants to go down a little bit further and maybe make another pattern over here and then fly up from there. So any basically signal here that aggressive buyers are stepping in, I'll be willing to step in the market. Here you see some buying already. This could be potential entry over here, these two bubbles with stop loss, 6 points maybe at the 71s. Let's speed it up a little bit. So I think this would be a great entry here after, multiple attempts to go lower and price just doesn't want to go lower. It's not the cleanest setup, but you just have to understand the overall context where, we already broke out of the resistance as we saw on the candlestick chart. We retested it. We had this nice consolidation range over here where, aggressive sellers tried to push the price lower, but it didn't. And aggressive buyers stepped in and immediately pushed the price higher up. There we go. We're nice in profit now already. About 6 points in profit. So about 1 hour, depending how big your stop loss is. If you did 6 points, you're about 1 hour in profit in literally a matter of seconds. So this would have been a good entry. This is also a good entry at the 79s. This is again just another way of looking at the Bookmap where you just see multiple attempts of pushing the price lower 1 time, 2 times, 3 times with weaker selling every single time, and the price just doesn't want to go lower. As you can see, if we draw a line here, you just see this price is just, really trying to go lower, but it just can't. It fails to go lower, and you see weaker selling every time on every little drop. And then as soon as you see aggressive buying, you can just step in and, just click basically with a little bit of a stop loss where you can have some room, and then, just wait for your trade to happen. So since the entry was around here, the 78s, and we have a 5 or 6 point stop loss, right basically where these bids are, they just look what to target. Okay, and my fully target for this was the 6700s, which was a pretty big offer. Now to take partials on this trade, you could have done the 90s or the 95s. I like the 95s for this particular trade, as I don't think the 90s was big enough for me, like especially with a 6 point stop loss. I only pretty much up like 2R over here, 12 points. So now I'd like to take partials at good areas where I can still squeeze some decent money out of the market, and the 95s were good. We did see some rejection here at these highs, but then eventually price pushed higher. You can see a lot of aggressive buying right here, 667. Another pullback right here, also that failed so far. Another pullback. But again, you can see how weak the selling is, right? You can see very small bubbles. And yes, it did have a little bit of a drop, but the selling is just pretty weak in general. And you see buyers just, absorb these sellers very quickly with a lot of aggressive orders and a lot of bigger contract sizes. So, our entry is down here, stop loss at break even, so you're safe. And now it's just a waiting game of, the targets to get hit. Let's speed it up a little bit more. See if we'll break through the 90s now. There we go, we're at the 90s. Well, this could be a potential area to take some contracts off if you like doing that at this area. I personally waited for the 95s, which will come very soon now. You see a lot of aggressive buying. A little bit of a pullback. And we're almost at the 95s. There we go, hit the 95s. And we're going to hit the 700s very soon as well. Just speed it up a little bit more. We can see how sellers are trying, but they're not really going anywhere. Some aggressive selling as well. There we go, we just hit the 700s. There we go, full target hit. So, this was a very, very clean trade. Pretty textbook, everything apart from this scenario here on the Bookmap. I would have preferred if price would go a little bit deeper. This wasn't the cleanest scenario. I would have preferred if price goes a little bit deeper, but there's not two trades that are exactly alike ever. Every trade is unique. So you just have to understand the context of the market, and then the location of where you're trying to trade from, and then the confirmation. Okay, and the confirmation is never going to be the same as well. So you just have to, the more you read the book map, the more you look at it, the more you understand it. And as you can see, all I can say is in basic terms is price came back to our range where we had aggressive selling that tried to push the price lower, didn't go anywhere. Aggressive buyers stepped in, immediately pushed the price higher. Also a little bit of a consolidation range, as you can see, very good. And then when the price returns for the first time, I never jump in the first time. I want to see, weaker selling, and I want to see aggressive buyers stepping in. And here in this case, we had one, um, one low, and price just the sellers tried to push the price down, and they couldn't. They failed. A little pop, and they tried again, and they couldn't even go lower than this level. Then a higher pop, and then another little drop again, and even they couldn't even pass this low. Okay, so that for me was already a sign that sellers are getting weaker and buyers are stepping in. So the first signal of aggressive buying, this is where I decide to step in with stop loss, give it a little bit of room, 5 to 6 points, and then target. More than happy with just targeting the 700s right over here where price is right now. So it was a very clean trade. It took a little bit of a longer time for me because entry was around 4:25 my time, and full target got hit 45, so about 20 minutes, which is a bit to the longer side for me. Usually it's between 3 and 10 minutes, 3 to 12 minutes, I'd say. But anyways, it's just is what it is. Sometimes at least I was able to go break even after this pop here quite fast and just be risk free, right? So yeah, all in all, very clean trade. And I hope this video was helpful to you guys. If you have any questions about the book map, order flow, or how I choose my levels, etc., just let me know in the comments down below and I'll get back to you. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.